could probably just draw it with this. I could do everything with this brush. This brush has a better tip than this. This thing has a better tip than this. But it holds way more paint, so I can just get a little bit on there.
You give the name Monster Brush. I like that.
Monster brush?
Yeah.
Who gave it that name?
You did it last time.
I did? Monster brush.
Yeah.
I have no memory, so if I said that, thank you and I'm sorry. Okay, so
Halloween brush.
yeah.
Ghost brush.
So, okay.
Magical monster brush.
And I like to just lay it in with something relatively kind of light. Now, it's a lot to grasp, right? It's a lot. But remember our rule of thirds, right? So if I just maybe think, so I have a, let's say, dot here, a dot there. In other words, it'll be natural for you to want to just center it. And you could probably come up with a pretty nice painting centering it. But usually it's a better idea off centering it. So, and then if I take and just see it like this first. Okay, could I see it any simpler? I mean, that's about as simple as you could see it. And that's a good thing. You just want to see it as simple as possible first. Because it's so easy to get lost in all the ellipses and everything. But this is called encompassing your mass. And then this way you could say, okay, do I want to make it bigger? Or do I want to make it smaller? Or what, you know? So
Can we call this envelope?
yeah. So, okay, so then I have the masses of the stairs, the greenery around the outside, keeping it very loose. Stairs, and which used to be a beautiful lawn, which I'll probably make into a beautiful lawn again. Okay, we have, oops. So, you know, I like to keep my drawing kind of light. That way I can change it, so I just I want to. And look, in general, my light's coming from here, shadows over here, okay? So let's think big general shapes first. You know, the first thing I'm going to do is put in some sky. And I'm going to go for a cobalt blue. It makes for a really nice sky. Just look at this brush. I mean, just seconds. I'm telling you, man. I'm going to start selling this on the QVC channel.
I do have the extras today if anybody wanted.
But I'm hooked. I'm
You're working on larger paper now.
Yeah. Did you notice? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, for the first time.
Well, I usually work big.
Yeah.
I like bigger paintings. Generally. Knowing that that's going to dry a bit lighter, I'm going to go ahead and put it on a little bit darker toward the top. And here's a little secret. Put it a little darker next to the light over here, so it'll pop those lights. But then I got the tree over there, so I guess it doesn't matter. Like a couple of yellow things here and there, a couple of cool red, but a regular orange red can look nice too. It will tend to gray your blues because it's got a little bit of orange in it, like a scarlet or something like that. Oh, let's pull that in a little bit. So I have two shapes, really. I'm going to pull in a couple of negative shapes. Let's straighten this out a little bit. Like the light coming in through the columns right there. And we have some light coming in through here. Want to make sure that's light enough.
Yes.
I love this. Yeah, I sell these for $19.99 as well. It's called the roll and swipe. It works though. I'll put it down like that and then roll. You know why I do it like that? Not just because it's cool or something, because you would be so cool if you did that. No, but because if you swipe, if you pull on it, it pushes it into the paper. But if you do this, it's just pulling it off. See? So there's a method behind that.
Blotting it.
Yeah.
Blotting,
Yeah. I don't ask me about words. That's why I make. Why did I put those in? Just to tell me where to put my shadows. Now, so I'm not. I mean, look at all that to draw. That's crazy, right? Let's make up. Now we may have a gray shadow. We can see it's basically a gray shadow. Okay, so I can take, and I'm going to take that cobalt, maybe some ultramarine blue, add a little bit of magenta in there, and yellow, something yellowish. Right, and that should give me some. That's a warm gray. I want to cool it off a little bit, somewhere in there, and we have a gray that would work. But the problem is it's kind of boring. But that would work. I mean, I could put that in there and that would work. But if you want to juice it up a little bit, because, so if I want to juice that up a little bit, let's add a little bit of other colors in there. I'm seeing oranges, I'm seeing violets, and blues. So it really didn't change the value very much. Building right under all this stuff, right under all that stuff, here like this. And it's pretty, it is a pretty dark shadow, believe it or not, because look how it pops off of the sky. Wow. And just remember, it's watercolor, so it'll dry lighter. It'll surprise you. So go strong with it. Even though, look at it, it's still going kind of gray on me. So you got to tag little colors in there to juice it up. And look at it, by the way, see all the yellowy orange? I mean, what's happening is that you're getting all this stuff off the grass and you're getting reflections off the marble. So we can hit a little bit of that, especially under some of these plains like that. Maybe even like a grass color. Right. Let's put all this in. And whatever yellow this is, it's so dirty, I don't know what it is. Must be one of those yellows I use. I'm so technical, I know. See, that's what I'm going for. And I'm just going to put all of this into one value. All of this. And they right under the under part of that, the under part of this, some of these. Here and there. Oh, there's so many columns back there, I can't even count them all. It's nuts.
Yeah, that's where I get lost.
Just make something up that looks good. Or you could be here counting the whole thing all day.
Like, oh, now I
Absolutely
like
perfect.
4 columns or something.
That won't get you something plein airish. That'll get you something very, technical.
You're just getting the impression.
Yeah. So the tops of the steps are just a little sliver of light. But the side of the step is quite big. Huh. And there are little ellipses that kind of... And that's all in shadow. Kind of bluish shadow down here too, isn't it? Let's see. Right? Just basically it's one value with a bunch of colors in it. Like I'm always telling you, like red, yellow, and bluish. Something bluish. Doesn't have to literally be red, yellow, and blue, but you do want something that reads, you know, about 3 colors in a shadow looks good. Now we can set that shadow off here. Oh boy, here comes the fun part. Wait, what part isn't the fun part? Okay, I'm gonna make a green here in the background. See, my yellows get all messed up because I'm constantly diving other colors into them. But that's a lemon and that's a cad yellow. Okay, so I'm trying to do this background color, but I want it to recede, so I want to gray it a little bit. So I'm going to add a little red. That's a complementary color to green. And maybe a little blue to that too, because I want it to go back in space. And it's quite dark, quite a bit darker than the Mausoleum. I couldn't say that word very many times without tripping over myself. I mean, just a light touch, just this, and it's also a great thing about this paper because you want something kind of rough that'll just take it.
Yeah, I like how you push the hairs.
Yeah, you just skim the surface of the paper and it gives you like a great edge, very much like that edge, and I could get clinical about it, but that wouldn't be very plein air. Or prudent. Okay. Got all these guys coming down. Look at those eucalyptus just kind of coming down into the piece. Down.
I came from Rhode Island in '69, and
It's weeping.
Yeah, like a weeping willow. Yeah. It's just, and we can add. I'll get some red on there and put some branches. Well, I like to do the branches when it's wet, actually. So I'll do that now, because then you don't see, they just get kind of absorbed into the foliage like that, and that's what happens. See, they sort of just get lost and found.
so once you feel it, it's already too late.
And I'll just look and see how they all arc. See all the arcing, all the arches in there. That's what I'm kind of going off. All of these arches. We've got some dark ones back here too. And then something up there. Now again, we have all that beautiful foliage in the background, really setting this light off here. Really get that color up and on that sheet. We have some things down here. Bluer and farther away feeling. So again, I'll make it a little grayer, a little bluer. I don't want a tight edge on those either. See, I should have done that. There we go. Just something that feels far away. And I'm gonna, oh, I left that one out. Oh well. And since I have green on the brush and I'm lazy, it makes sense. You know, if you have green on your brush, take care of most of the things that you see that are green. You might not be able to do them all, but let's get some serious yellow into that grass. Come on. There we go. Come on. There we go. That's what I was looking for. goes way out there too. Whoops. Little accident of a dry brush edge there. Million different ways you can clean that up. I'll just do it like that. Maybe like that. Good enough for me. And some more stair shadows. I just want to show you that you don't have to be so clinical on the thing. I know it'll pull you in, and you'll be rendering those capital things. The little lions, you'll be putting little... I've done it a million times, I know. You want to get to the fun part, just get to it. And so this will be casting a shadow all the way over the lawn here. I'm just going to use pure Prussian blue and let's see what happens. Right across that lawn. Maybe some more things across here. Some streaks. And there's little shadows going everywhere. Because it's that time of day. Little guys in the background there, little, oh, there's a little, I want them blue. Literally, just, this brush does the, I mean, I'm just using the tip, but look what I can do with this. Look at this tip. Look at that. I can get a big fat wash using the side and then a really small little, a little hair-like thing right there. Now, I have a few darks in here. So I did wait a little while to let those set up. I hope. So I'm seeing the mausoleum thing itself is a little dark in there. Maybe even darker at the base. And now I could use those colors, which are very gray. I don't like them. I see some darks up here in the top. In there, up in there. Some darks at the base of the columns, like there, and there. Some of these guys. And as the light comes in, I mean the light goes into shadow. See, I go from light to a mid-tone to a shadow color. This helps to turn the form a little bit, like that. We call that a halftone. So it's not shadow and it's not light. It's right in the middle. That's what will give you kind of a transitionary thingamajigger. My so that's the quickest, easiest way to lay that thing out. I should have gotten away from that thing. That looks good. It always looks better on the phone. And you know what else? You know what else I wouldn't mind doing? It's very dark. much darker than the other stuff. How about some of that oak stuff just coming down in front of it? What this will hopefully do is give us some.
Too scared. I'm
Oh,
like,
he did that on the bridge.
Oh yeah.
Heart attack.
I'm so
I watched that
scared.
video again.
You ready for the heart attack?
Oh my God, I'm too scared. I'm scared.
So bring them down. You're thinking oaky stuff, very dry brushy, and they're kind of crumbly.
Just love these technical terms.
Yeah, I know. I don't know.
Great.
I heard someone in my class the other day. What did she say? I can't. I'll try to think of it. It was a perfect. Oh, I'll think of it. And she's like a chemical engineer. And she came up with a great word.
Oh,
It was like
like a paint. You mean like a painting term?
no, it was it sounded like one of my terms. I really liked it.
A Robism.
Yeah, she said something like yellowy. That's what she said. Yellowy.
Oh.
That's so
Oh, I
yellowy.
use that.
So then I'll throw in a few little. Just sneak in a few little stems and stuff. Just to give it a little bit of
Depth.
mystery, yeah. And depth, yeah. Because really what you're seeing is a mask with some kind of crumbly edges. Crumbly edges.
No way.
Scumpily brush stroke.
I'm not ready to do those crumbly edges.
And maybe bring a few together here.
I'm not worthy.
And then I see that the light's coming from here. By the way, the mausoleum itself is casting a shadow onto a lot of this stuff. But on the right side, if you hit some shadow, you know, not everywhere, but maybe here and there, you can get a little bit of form. Also in the back, right? On the right side and the bottom of the clump, like that. The right side and the bottom of the clump, like, I know that looks funny, but then you just take the brush and you'll get a mess. No, you'll get something hopefully that resembles a shadow. That's a little dark.
Back there. Got it.
So those are fun. And again, some little dark accents here. Some of those little guys. Some guys up in there. And of course the lion. Put in the lions. No, I won't do that. I won't kill you with that one. But let's say, for instance, the marble, which is very white, will really reflect the sky. So you'll get some blue in there. You could throw that in a couple other places too. I like that. I like that. You know, the shadow on the white will feel usually kind of bluish. So I could have definitely hit these a little bit more blue. Yeah.
Yeah, nice job on this tree. Nice. This one here.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was just I started off with that kind of gray, and then I added cobalt blue and magenta.
And, it was so
And
dark
that'll give
when
you a
did
violet.
it, but look at it. It's just like, wow,
That's
beautiful.
great. That's beautiful.
So, and then that greenish.
But I don't ever do this until I get further on. But yeah, I might hit these a little bit darker in the foreground, with maybe possibly a little bit more green in them. Just to make like this tree feel like it's in front of those trees. Come on. In the background.
Let me see.
And not the biggest difference in the world, but you know, So if I wanted more distance out of it, I could have possibly gone.
Make it a little darker to get the distance.
But there's like no more
Bluish.
Yeah.
describing what's back there because it's already pushed back, right?
Yeah.
That's where my mistake is. I
then-
try to go in and
Quit.
Okay.
I quit when I could make changes that are going to be different, but are they going to be better?
Right. You don't want to overthink it. Is that what
Yeah,
you're
I
saying?
could throw a little bit of blue back there. Right. Maybe even a cast shadow.
here he goes.
See what I mean?
Here he goes.
Never end. I tell you, they never finished.
Careful now.
I'm sorry. I'm leaving.
Red signature.
Did they come over on some ships? You know, they always say that about the plein.
Oh, that's bored. Great.
Restriction or I don't
Why
know.
not?
But it's a problem.
But it's weird.
Maybe it
I mean,
stands
why-
out
Use it.
or lose it.
Okay.